I am crossing my fingers because I want to make sure that Jason Robertson does not get traded before this YouTube video comes out on the internet. We'll see what happens. But for now, we're diving into the latest on Jason Robertson and the Dallas Stars. And we're also talking about the Detroit Red Wings, because lo and behold, we have some connections to make here, and we have another few American guys that we should be talking about. Let's dive into this post made by NHL Rumor Report yesterday afternoon. It cites some commentary from Jeff Merrick on the Leafs Morning Take show earlier Wednesday. Merrick said that Dallas is going to make news before Friday. I think they want the Jason Robertson thing done. And I think they want Dylan Larkin. Now, that's a really simple tweet, but the ideas are vast. And again, maybe by the time this video is public on YouTube, J-Rob has already gotten re-signed, or he's already gotten traded, or he's already gotten offer sheeted. There are a number of different possibilities that can come to life with Jason Robertson, a 26-year-old forward, 6'3", 205, a left-handed winger who scored 96 points in 82 games this most recent season. Now, 96 points is really good. You're one of the best players in the league if you're able to get 90 points a year. But the fact is, it's not Jason Robertson's career high. 3 seasons ago, he had a 109-point campaign with essentially the same amount of goals, but 8 more assists. Now, obviously, you kind of have to have a good team to be able to get assists, so the fact that he was able to put in the same amount of pucks into the net himself, I'd say, is a pretty good sign. You also take a look at the playoff production here. Aside 2025, Jason Robertson has been a pretty consistent point producer in the Stanley Cup Playoffs, and that continued in the first round against Minnesota this year. He had 8 points in 6 games, 5 goals, 3 assists over there. Jason Robertson is really proving his worth. But it doesn't seem like the Dallas Stars want to go up to that Mikko Rantanen dollar amount of 12-something million bucks a year to keep Robertson around. This is why we've been talking about him as a trade option, and if Jeff Merrick is saying that the Dallas Stars want Dylan Larkin, does that mean we can get ourselves a Larkin for Robertson trade? Maybe not 1-for-1. I'd say that Larkin has less trade value than Robertson, but then again, it's easy to say that the guy that gets more points is the guy who is more valuable, but I do wonder, Dylan Larkin being a center, having a decent amount of cost under his belt, and providing Dallas with that premium position down the middle, I do question if Jason Robertson and Dylan Larkin's trade value is a lot closer than we would have anticipated at the beginning. At the end of the day, though, Robertson produces more, he is younger, and if you get the contract signed, you will have him for a longer amount of time. So there is a pro and a con argument to both sides. Either way, let's take a look at some of the replies over here on this tweet. Larkin and Seider for Robertson? Hell no, that's not going down. Seider is not leaving. I'd say that Dylan Larkin is forcing his way out. He wants out. He only wants to go to 3 teams. Okay, capiche. Mo Seider is probably sticking around. He's probably the next captain, if we're being real. He also had this other reply from a Dallas Stars fan. If they're going to do it, I would send Robertson, Sam Steele, Ilya Lyubushkin, and Tyler Myers to Detroit for Larkin and Seider. Bro, you can't do that. You can't just add on all the bad players that you don't want in your team and get a really good player from the other team. That doesn't work like that. Life's not a video game, bruh. Larkin makes a ton of sense for Dallas because of his contract. Yeah, I would agree with that. Just think about the Dallas Stars potentially with Dylan Larkin as, I was going to say their second-line center, but I'm thinking about it like, would he be their first-line center? No disrespect to Roope Hintz, but there are a number of guys that are fitting the part. Matt Duchene can play center. Wyatt Johnson can play center. You have, I think, Mikko Rantanen has the capability of playing center at some point, and Tyler Seguin, obviously he was a center before too. There are so many really nice names, and we are starting to see versatility with teams like the Dallas Stars, for example. Logan Stankoven isn't a star anymore, but he was a dual winger center threat. Meanwhile, Dylan Larkin, a pure C, who does he dethrone if he gets sent over to this team? Is he a first-line guy? Does he end up playing with Sagan and Ben or whatever? I'd like to see what Larkin can do on a line with Matt Duchene. That sounds really fun. Another reply goes out there and talks about a 3-team trade. Robertson to Calgary, Zary to Detroit, and Dallas gets Dylan Larkin. Oh boy, that's crazy. The most obvious Calgary Flames homer out there, I guess. This was also posted onto the R Detroit Red Wings subreddit. Robertson and Larkin trade incoming? Please, Stevie Y, make this happen. Maybe I'm just being delusional that this could happen, but holy crap, I'd be so happy if it happened. Now, I'll say this as well. If Steve Yzerman finds a way to get Jason Robertson on the Red Wings, I'd be pretty happy with that too, even if it does cost a Dylan Larkin. But then again, the guy wants out, so it's hard not to feel bad about him leaving in the first place. Of course, it would depend on what else you have to add. It's not going to be Larkin for Robertson straight up, or at least I don't think so. Larkin, add a prospect, add a pick, maybe add another not-so-great roster player. Who really knows? Another reply says, any center that says no to having Raymond and Robertson as their wingers would be a stupid poo-poo head. So, yeah. Imagine that, eh? Robertson, Raymond, and then whomever else that the Red Wings could acquire. Maybe an Elias Pettersson. The price could be Axel Sandin Pellikka. How does that sound? Okay, maybe I should take a step back from hypothesizing trades that benefit my Vancouver Canucks. Another reply says it makes the most sense. Larkin is a fair replacement center, and he can play down the middle at a steal of a contract versus what anyone new will sign. I mean, look at Tuck, who just got 10.5, and he hasn't topped 70 points in the last 3 years. Larkin goes west, so Detroit doesn't have to see him. Robertson can get whatever salary he wants in Detroit with all the cap space, and he goes east, as well as to a team Dallas probably doesn't view as a threat. And it'll be funny, because Dylan Larkin will have to call Jamie Benn his captain. That's an even greater level of irony that I didn't consider up until reading that comment. That will be glorious indeed. Maybe they can be roommates. That's the story of how Larkin met his daddy. Bruh, these Detroit Red Wing fans are already giving it to Dylan Larkin, and I'm all here for it. He gave up on the team. What else is there to say? I'd crap myself. The vibes this offseason have been so abysmal. If this Larkin for Robertson trade happens, it'll be like being reborn into a lotus flower. Someone deserves to have Jamie Benn as a teammate. And finally, to end off this video, we'll read this post by Stockbeast. I think this is the only way forward that makes sense. Youth and talent in a position we desperately needed filled. Undoubtedly, this is a 1 step forward, 2 steps back kind of situation, losing Larkin down the middle, but I think it was still necessary given where we had stagnated. Yes, now we have an even bigger center hole to fill, but I think this solidifies our ceiling as at least notably higher. Without Dylan Larkin, the Red Wings would need a 1C and a 2C. And that, I think, is one of the bigger elements to this story as well. I do question, too, at the same time. I mean, there was a part of DeBrincat's career back when he was in Erie, I believe, when he also played center, particularly after the departure of Connor McDavid. Did he play center? No, he's just listed as a winger. I'm not too sure about that. Okay, maybe I'm misremembering things, but either way, Alex DeBrincat is also one of these guys that has been tossed around in trade rumors. If Larkin goes, does DeBrincat go with him, or does DeBrincat decide to go separately from that? I'm not really too sure, but if there is a world where Jason Robertson is brought onto the team, there is a very good offensive profile to replace the offense that Dylan Larkin will be leaving behind. I like Robertson a lot, and he is a better, more skilled, more productive hockey player than D-Boss. And he also happens to be younger, so that fits the bill too, doesn't it? You can let me know your thoughts in the comment section. How do you feel about this hypothesized Jeff Merrick idea? Dylan Larkin for Jason Robertson. Is it happening? Is it not? Is it done by the time this video is uploaded on YouTube? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I hope you enjoyed this video. and bye.